There was a big accounting firm on the Northern Beaches, still there, that was in the same building that we opened the office.
Yep.
And I just refused to go home if their lights were still on, because I was like, I'm not leaving until they go to bed. So the only way I'm going to catch them is out working.
Danny, thanks so much for joining us on the couch. Appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure, Joshy boy. Love being here.
So, man, I don't know, this is going back to football days, you and I, and the whole family then at the Hills Hawks and running that show. I think that's when it really started, really.
Live highlights.
Absolutely.
Genuinely happy, easy days.
Yeah, really competitive at that time. And now parents being the coaches and the presidents of that club, which is probably why the club's not really running very well. They spent all the money.
Do you know when you see the videos online, like parents at sporting events? That's our childhood.
The yelling and the screaming and the abuse. They were doing nice stuff on the field. Off the field, we really copped it. No, man, the reason I wanted to get you in today, you've built a phenomenal business. So Kelly+Partners, Northern Beaches, but we'll talk about what that's expanded to and what that looks like now. Talk us through sort of journey of business, because again, it hasn't just been Kelly+Partners. You know, Jess has also done some good stuff, your wife, in book space as well. So talk to us about the journey.
I'll go all the way back. Like the first business thing I ever did was Amway.
Oh, yeah.
so high school Amway. Someone who was family friends teaching me about business and selling things, and started there, mate. Like any good business story. No, but I say that jokingly, but more to say like there's always been an idea of like go run a business, go make money in other ways in my whole life. I don't know if that's it's not necessarily like in mum and dad. Like mum and dad never had their own businesses. But I think it is in our culture and what we see across our wider family.
Yep.
I remember Dad making me. I was having a fight with Dad when I was teens, and he made me read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Good book
as a kid. Great book, great foundational knowledge book. And
absolutely.
I remember the first, like it was about school, my fights with him, and the first chapter was about how school's stupid and everything. I throw it straight back at his face.
Told you, Dad.
Told you that this is the book you told me to read. Read it. But yeah, like outside of being an arrogant teenager, there was a lot of foundational stuff there that started this brain process of, and I used to hate reading, and it takes one book or one idea to get that flowing. And then one cousin, auntie, someone to get you to actually do a business, whether it's Amway or anything, but just the concept of, hang on, wait, there's a way to make money in a certain way. So that started there. From there, we sold, pirated DVDs as a next.
Back in the day, LimeWire, all that sort of stuff.
So doing some funny, silly, dumb things. Leaving school, going to uni, me and my brother always spoke about doing different types of business. Like it was always the only conversation we had when we did anything. We ended up opening a retail headphone store before like Beats by Dre and everything came over. Again, young and dumb, like it's a silly idea, but the learning and the experiences that we had going through negotiating Westfield, signing your own lease, risk management, like all the same combos I have with business owners today, I learned at 22 by losing my own money, which has helped on this journey.
But that was like the big risky sort of stuff back then, right? Like, was that in Parramatta, Westfield? I think it was. I remember that actually, now that you were talking about it. I'm like, back then, like the use of the internet and social media, like, it was only really kicking off. It wasn't as dominant as it is now, right? And then going into a shopping centre to do that was huge. 2011 was when we done that. So when we signed the lease. But yeah, man, like hugely different world, and like, again, if I'm talking to someone coming to me today, I'd be like, don't do that. This is stupid. And to be fair, like some of the mentors I went to at the time said that to me. Hang on, like, and were throwing things at me, and I just had, when you're young and you just have the answers for everything. Like, nah. So I knew all the answers. But yeah, like the experience of going through that was huge. Post that, I started Kelly+Partners. So Kelly+Partners was the next version of the business. And then parallel to that, in the journey, Jess launched her e-com business, The Little Homie, which was the book that went viral around the world. And again, we learned so much. Like that was the difference of what you said before. The retail Westfield one was pre-internet. Little Homie was like right in the peak of Facebook, everything internet. So we built it all online, and it was amazing. And being able to have both those experiences helped amazingly, while also building Kelly+Partners
alongside that, which couldn't be more opposite in terms of kind of similar to real estate, like stable, reoccurring income or reoccurring client base kind of income that just always comes in. Not sexy at all. We do our best to make it as sexy as possible, but compared to a marketing business
numbers
or online,
and spreadsheets.
it's like numbers, tax and spreadsheets just doesn't move the dial for most people the same way online shopping does.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so while we're building that online business, we're also building this stable business at the same time. And just in terms of like our own business, the lessons we've been able to learn and teach the team from the money we've invested and lost in all these different areas has been invaluable.
Yeah. So can you just talk to us about the journey of growing those two businesses? Because we're at your Christmas party that you did the other night, and grateful to be able to be there with you guys. And Jess was talking to us a little bit about that, and we both shared our experiences of what we had to do. We know early days for us with Mason in the sort of cradle, coming into the office on a Sunday, cleaning the office, and we were doing that, both Sarah and I together. And she was heavily pregnant with our next child, Jordan. And then Jess shared her experiences of like sleeping on the floor whilst you were working, doing the whole book and little homey thing whilst you were getting your business off the ground. Talk to us about what those experiences taught you and how it shaped you into what you are today.
I got goosebumps you saying that, because it's like you get the memories back. It's like you get to where we are today, and you forget
totally
the detail. So like I'll rewind. Kelly+Partners, I'll kind of tell you both at once. Kelly+Partners is now 70 odd people within our Northern Beaches team. 11 years ago, it was just me in the office where we just started. And Brett Kelly, our CEO at the time, I remember, like, I kind of quickly touched on there, like I have a personality of wanting to do a million things all the time. And Brett grabbed me and he's like, the best thing I can do for you is make you sitting in this chair for 10 years. Like someone giving me advice that I listened to was just sit in this chair for 10 years and do what I say.
It's rare for you to listen.
Up until that point it was. Now I'm a much better listener. But yeah, like you said, sit here and do this. And it was great advice, and it forced me to focus and build something. And so as soon as I had that focus point, and Jess has been amazing. Me and Jess have been together since high school. So we've been in each other's corners forever. And she fully backed me, like, took a big pay cut to go to KP to build what we had to build, had no income coming through. And then every day just showing up and relentlessly working. There was a big accounting firm on the Northern Beaches, still there, that was in the same building that we opened the office. And I just refused to go home if their lights were still on, because I was like, I'm not leaving until they go to bed. So I'm just, the only way I'm going to catch them is outwork them, because I had nothing else to throw.
Talk to the team about that. It's like, if you don't have the experience, which you didn't, you had a skill set, but you're never as good of a skill set of what they did. And then you've just got work ethic. That's it. So you can do one of the three or two of the three, and you only really had one that you could do, which is the work
and I had no capital. So like the only lever I have is effort. And so, and from the sport background that we spoke about, like we have a bit of a motor and discipline and tenacity, resilience to be able to put that effort in. But it was really the only lever we had to pull. So, we showed up every day, all days with clients, trying to do whatever we had to do. All night was, working on the actual work that needed to get done. So never, it was just relentless, 7 days a week. Like it was easily working 100-hour weeks for a long period of time, without a doubt. And that it sounds, I speak to some of the younger guys in my office, and a lot of people just don't want that. And it's completely fine and normal. We just had big goals and we wanted to achieve big things. And I knew to get there, it's going to take a huge amount of effort. And Jess fully backed me through that. So she would, this was before the little homie even, she fell pregnant with Lola, or very early on with Lola. And the only time we'd get to hang out is if she came to the office.
At work,
Because I'm happy to spend any time you want to spend together within these four walls, because I just got shit to do.
That's right. We'll turn the power out of the accounting place upstairs, and I might go home.
I can leave. Just at the front, ripping out the buildings power. No, but that was the only time. Like again, matching our goals that we wanted to achieve with what that's the only way it works. And we had a million fights about it. Like, it's not easy. And when I say she supported me, it's not like every day we're fully in sync. And there's heaps of days where I didn't want to fucking do it either. So it was difficult. But whenever we had those fights, we always just ended up pointing back to, listen, if you want this is what it's going to take.
So that communication piece is really important, right? And sort of saying to your significant other or to the people around you, and this we'll talk about business and culture and all that stuff, this is like where I want to actually go. This is when I want to actually get there. This is what I need to do to actually achieve that. Like, are you coming or are you not?
Correct.
And it's a tough conversation to have, and a lot of people don't. I have to educate my team on it. Even some of these younger guys, just got a girlfriend. Like, the girlfriend's like, why are you working Sundays? I'm like, it's your fault for not saying it, so you're in trouble because you didn't tell them.
Correct.
Whereas if you just sat down and said, like, this is actually my 12-month plan. This is what I want to achieve. But not many people do that, right?
Well, before you even get to the communication piece with the partner, most people don't have a 12-month plan. And as you say that, I think to myself, I've already had this written down that I actually have to grab my team and do more formal, like forcing that plan down their throat. Because if I've had that convo 20 times, but they don't actually go away and build the plan because not out of lack of wanting, more out of lack of know-how. And if I think about your team working with you and my team working with me, if they're not going to go do it, what chance do most of the world have? Because most people don't have you in the corner going, hey, talk to your girlfriend, do this, do that. So yeah, like spot on, the comms is important, but I think even more important is sitting down and being honest with yourself and your partner and setting goals and saying what you're trying to achieve to be able to build that out together. Me and Jess do an annual walk. We just do like Spit to Manly, like around New Year's, no set kind of day, but get the kids looked after, and we know we're walking and we got the beaches to stop at. It's like a 2, 3, 4 hour convo that we're going to have, and we're just going to talk about the year and what we're going to do and etc. And it just formulates the basis for that every year. So implement some sort of ritual, some sort of process, some sort of something where you can have that.
It's funny, I'm sort of laughing to myself because Sarah and I went to Brisbane about 4 weeks ago, and so I built a Saliba operating system, right? So I got an operating system for the business. I'm like, why don't I have one for the business, for my family life? And like I've had one for the business for the last 4 years, and I'm like, I've completely neglected the family. I'm like, it's not good enough. So I put an agenda together, like annual retreat agenda, quarterly agenda, monthly agenda, and I pull out this document and I'll share it with you because your team will love it. And there's this life cog, and shout out to Josh Vegan, our real estate coach, who helped us with this, and it's from 0 to 10 how satisfied you are on health, personal faith, growth, and you basically color it in, and on the next page it's got the headings and like what goals you want to set to get to a 10 if you're only at a 7. And so I pull it out on the flight. She goes, what the fuck is this? She goes, this is a business meeting or are we going on a holiday?
Are we in love?
And I said, we can't get off the plane until we complete this. I said, I need an hour of your time. I said, give me an hour, we nail this down. And so again, now that we've done that and we've got these monthly meetings, we review the operating system and we look at that, and we've got our kids' goals in there, like what we want to achieve for the kids. What does she want to achieve? And it's funny, there's like a heading that says significant other, and you got to write in there, how do you get your 10 to your significant other to a 10?
That's bad.
I'm like, I saw her writing and I'm like, I'm in trouble.
Sarah's been a 10 your whole life.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, you're perfect, babe. There's nothing you can do.
There's only one answer you can put there.
It's an unfair advantage, but it's fine. But back to the point, like it's amazing to do that.
It's like so freeing and off track a little bit, but most breakdowns of relationships are comms / financial. So if you recognize that you want to spend the rest of your life with someone and the importance of that and how hard that is to actually execute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Solving your financial part of your life and being able to have like honest convos and tease that out is like 90% of the battle. And most people, like, I had to chat with one of the young guys this week he's actually leaving, and I was trying to get him to understand the consequences of that through financial. He's like, yeah, but I don't want this. I just want to have a wife and kids and all this. And I'm like, do you understand how hard it is to last in a marriage and have a wife if you don't solve the financial part of your life? Like, life's fucking hard, really hard.
And the money doesn't solve anything. It can also cause problems, but at the same time, it helps you make the better decisions.
Of course.
It helps you have someone look after the kids, so then you can go and do a half-day retreat with your wife where you can go and look at your goals, or even just spend half a day together.
Go to dinner. Like crazy. But so we do some similar stuff. Like we'll have a monthly date night. We'll go to a restaurant or whatever and trying to make it fun and fancy and then like really enjoy. But part of the convo is, the goal related stuff or
reflection, what are the achievements, what are the lessons learned, all that sort of stuff.
And it's always like, not always easy convo, but always we'd always leave extremely happy with the combo.
You're just so much better about it. Like because like I need to understand what way Sarah, my partner, wants to go. What direction 100%. Is she? What's she sort of struggling with? What does she want to achieve? And again, what is she not getting from me that I actually need to provide?
You don't realize.
No.
And probably the last thing I'll say on that is, I also think the other thing that allows that to happen there in terms of like relationships is, instead of always reacting to everything at home, if I know I'm catching up with Jess once a month to have a dinner, it's like, I'll just put that in my notes and I'll talk about it later. It takes all the heat out of those convos because you're not emotionally in a fire.
Yeah, and you're not always coming home with all this sort of stuff, baggage. Right? Yeah. You can say, no, everything's all good. There's nothing to discuss.
I'll sort about it when we catch up.
Right. And a lot of the stuff sometimes probably resolves itself. Right? You're like, 100%. Oh, that was actually an issue on that day, but a week later, it's no longer actually an issue. So 100%. I actually didn't need to say anything and cause an issue over nothing. It was only issued that moment.
Yep.
You might have had a bad day, something shit happened to you, and you were just trying to take that home, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
Bit of a sidetrack, but we're going through that journey of building the business, and that's the time we're spending together. And again, fully aligned. So we could always bring it back to that. Then we stupidly at the same time decided to launch Jess's business. It wasn't a decision that we thought about.
Smart in your eyes because you wanted to do a lot of things. Stupid in everyone else's.
Great idea. Let's go. She had an idea. She wanted to do this ABC hip hop book. Like, yep, let's go. It was actually on my goal board to start writing a book, and I knew I was never going to get to it. So I was like, well, let's do, justification, get out clause. Let's do your book that you want to do instead. So I can tick this
that's
goal
my
off.
Achievement, really. Anyway,
so I to tick this thing off because I can't not tick it off. So we did, and she's, we got some pricing, and her friend's like, to do all the illustrations, that's going to be like $6,000 or $8,000. Then she's like, I told you before, we're working, we've got no money. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not spending $8,000 on some pictures.
That's right, on a child's book.
That's not to downplay Alex who done the design because it was unbelievable. It was more just, that was 100% of my net worth. So I said to her, listen, launch it on Kickstarter. If we raise the money, then we'll look at it. Yeah. She's like, what the fuck's Kickstarter? So for Jess, her journey of like business and like that part of it starts there. And she started to go, right, well, it's Kickstarter, how's this work? We went and put online and we just harassed everyone we knew to buy pre-sale copies, which you probably bought.
I did, absolutely.
Most people got harassed and most people bought, which I'm grateful for. We got past the numbers we had to get to. She launched that business and it sold out. The book sold out straight away, which was an amazing success. And then she reordered, I think it was like we ordered 1,000 books when we started, which sold out basically the week they landed.
Yeah.
And then I think she ordered like 12,000 or something the next order, and then by the time they landed again, they were all sold out.
Yeah.
But when they landed was like they landed on a Friday, and we were leaving to Greece for a wedding we had to go to on the Monday for 3 weeks. So we had like that weekend to ship them out.
Yeah.
And so they land on the Friday. We hire a Kenner. We had no warehouse. We had no process. We had no nothing. Like
no system.
We're free. No system. This is where the business started 4 months ago. They land on the Friday in Kennards. We just ring all our mates to come, like local mates, and they all come and just pack orders for us all weekend, and we ship them all out, and then we go on our holiday. There was 6,000 or something in Australia, and then the balance were all international orders. All the Australian ones were fine. They all got to their customers. Everything worked. All 5,000 or whatever it was international orders, they have this special packing slip on them. You had to like sign it 4 times. It was a pretty shit process. But the slip that they gave us, whatever reason, was dodgy or we did it wrong. I don't know. But they all fell off.
Yeah.
So the 5,000 international orders that went out, basically 10 got to the customers and the rest of them never landed. And so we're in Greece every night in Greece for the 2 or 3 weeks that we were there. Me and Jess are sitting up till like 2. Everyone's gone out. We're at 2, 3 in the morning you start at that side of the inbox. I'll start at this side. Just customer service emails every night. Just responding to emails and solving problems every night for the whole trip.
Wow.
And it's crazy.
Good option to start a book. Yeah, so,
perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
But yeah, like we sit back and we laugh about the stories of it now, including with Jez. But fuck, it was painful.
But they're the lessons that you've got to go through in business, right?
Yeah.
You put yourself in those situations. You put yourself in those tough places, and you got to dig your heels in because no better. You're like, I've got to service all these customers. I've got to get back to everyone and deal with it. I can't just not deal with it. Even if the book wasn't going to go anywhere, you're like, that was just your values.
Internal values. You can't not deal with it. Yeah, and that's largely what drove all the other. Like you have to have something that's a basis of values.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like there's so many of those. Like first book was 1 centimeter too big. It didn't fit in the 500-gram envelope, so our postage was double.
You don't think about these things.
You don't think about them.
No.
But now whenever someone rings Jess and asks them, hey, I heard you started the book. This is what I'm thinking. So Jess is like, make sure it's 19 centimeters.
It's the first thing.
Yeah, like she has these different
checklist.
Things. Yeah, checklist things that are in her brain, like engraved of the noise that it created for us. So yeah, like there's so many of those little lessons along the way that you don't learn until you've been in the fire burning.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think as a business owner, most people that come to us and they want to start a business, often the question, like say someone comes and asks me about an e-commerce business, I'll be like, so how long do you think till I can get the money back off the table? Like, which is a fine financial question, I get it, but like it's kind of like a lead indicator to like, are you sure you have the tenacity of what you're about to go through now? Because it takes 2 or 3 times as long as what you think, and it's so much more expensive because there's just fires.
Well, I guess part of the problem is what you see on like social media, and there's people are scrolling through and like, oh yeah, I started this business and overnight it went to X amount of $millions.
So sad.
First of all, it's probably not true, and secondly, if it is, there's like 1 in 10 million or 11 million that actually
is successful that way.
To do it that way. 9 times out of 10 or 99% of the time, it's just grit, determination, and making a shitload of bloody mistakes.
I'll tell you that Jess's business was an overnight success in terms of the sales and the financial side of it.
Yeah.
But I reckon 9 out of 10 people wouldn't have gone through the shit that we had to go through to actually even execute on those sales.
That's right.
Even if you solve the income side, there's still so much shit to work on in the background that has to just happen. But yeah, like that social media thing, I actually think is a real problem. We've got heaps, the beauty of our job is you can actually see the numbers of the business owners that you're talking to.
Yeah.
And I have to sit there often and watch their social media and want to like blow up at them about this, but I actually think the negativity that it puts in the world and the expectation it puts on other business owners isn't fair.
Well, it's brand perception, right? And social media can be used through perception, perception of you actually doing better than what you actually are.
Yeah.
But what does that actually fulfill? Well, it doesn't fulfill the bank account. And what we were talking about before is that the financial freedom that you get from running successful business absolutely changes the game. Yeah. Now, what you do with the financial freedom is a different conversation.
Another convo.
Yeah.
But where I struggle is, so that's true for the perception in terms of what you put in the world to try and create these persona. But then where I get frustrated is the same people will sit in a room of other business owners and still not tell the truth.
Yep.
And I think that creates a bad, karma in the world or bad experience. Like the amount of people have to walk off a cliff because of their financial results or where they're at, and their benchmark of where they should be at is a made up benchmark, and I'm like, trust me, it's not real.
Because you see it really frankly, right? Because you look at the numbers, you see the dollars and cents, you see what expenses are coming up from tax debt and all that sort of stuff, and what they've been putting to the side and not actually paying.
Yeah, and it's just not real. It's just not real. So it's a real issue in the real convo. And business is really hard, and people should know that when they're going in, man. It's a journey.
Absolutely. And so you started Northern Beaches. Sort of, that was a small business at the point. Talk us about the journey and where it's got to today.
So 70 people now within I say 70. Our direct Northern Beaches team's 50. With our Pittwater and the Brookvale team out of our office, it's like 70 or 72. So it's a big group of people. That's way bigger than what I ever imagined it would be. Even with the aspirations and where the numbers on the spreadsheet, you still don't picture the volume.
No.
And same kind of convo. Like, it's taken a lot of grit and energy. Like, it's a different to the e-commerce one, where e-commerce can go 0 to $1 billion overnight because sales are pretty exponential, pretty fast. Give Mark Zuckerberg some money, you get some back.
Plus, you're appealing to an international market as well.
International market.
Like with the accounting thing, like you could go international, I guess, but it's
largely relationship based. So most of our business, even if it is international, it's largely based on a relationship somewhere. Yeah. And it takes a lot more energy, both on the client side to grow and on the people side. So the biggest challenge we've had hasn't necessarily been grow clients, like find more revenue. We've found it pretty easy to do a job that stands out in the accounting market.
Yep.
What's been extremely difficult, and I think it's true for most professional services, including real estate, is to keep your people growing at the same speed that you're growing the business, and your culture growing at the same speed you're growing. It's actually really difficult to match those two things.
And do you think it's because that the people don't want to grow that quickly, or the business is growing at a rapid rate and it's requiring something from someone that can't actually keep up?
Can't actually keep up. Yeah. I think often businesses outgrow the people.
Yeah.
Not from lack of wanting, just from lack of capability. And that's like, I can train as hard as I want, I'm never going to be Michael Jordan. It's just irrelevant.
Yeah.
So there's a point where our basketball game outgrows me and I just can't play anymore. It's kind of the same concept. It's like, people do have a capacity limit and a speed that they can grow, and it's okay to accept that. It's actually really difficult though for that person to accept that.
It. And because the business continues to grow, the business leader has all these aspirations, and that person's like, well, I don't feel worthy enough.
And even if they have the aspirations, they start to break.
Yeah.
And it's hard to swallow. It's hard for people to swallow that. And that's probably, it could be true for us. Like you could put all the energy and I could put, and there's a point where our business is breaking because our ability to grow has now plateaued.
Yep.
It's our job to try and stop that, but it doesn't mean we're going to have the capability to stop that.
Correct.
And so I think, as a leader, it's always been hard to keep those things balanced. And I haven't done the best job all the time of it because my goals get in the way of focusing here sometimes, and they're always swinging that pendulum back and forth. But yeah, like it's that journey's been in professional services is largely that. It's like build the business, but also build the people and have this energy and leadership piece that you're always growing that's directed at the team, which is just...
But if there's one thing that you've done better than I've probably seen a lot of people do is your relationship that you have with the people. And the relationship that you have with people is you just being you, right? So that is a lot around your personality. So not taking it away from all the other skill sets that you've learned. I'm sure you've read books and you've done all that to improve on your personality, because personality is only going to take you so far.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a structure, a system, a process that you've learned off a book and all those sorts of things. That's not going to help. But the relationship that you have with the people and how that flows through their personality, and then how that comes out on the other side of even of a camera when I'm talking to, Nat, one of the great people that you have in the business, you can see that there's little things of you in her from like a personality perspective, her ability to connect with people.
I love that. It makes me so happy that you feel that. We've built the business on, I genuinely love our team and I genuinely care about our team, and people will say those things in their businesses, but it's like,
no, I know you can tell that
yeah, I'll go to war for these people, and over time they know that to be true. And then as soon as that, like once we're aligned that we're, I'll kill for you, it's very hard for us not to kind of build this culture in this unit.
But is that just who you have been, or have you genuinely gone out there and learnt how to do that? And there's no right or wrong answer, right? Some people are built that way, but some people need to build themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's a clear intention, you're doing it for the right reasons.
I think there's a lot of it that was natural, and I think once I recognized that
that's your strength,
that's my strength, and that's what's working. I read a book called $1 Trillion Coach, and that was the moment I realized, like, actually I can see what I'm doing that's working here. And I spoke about it in that book, like largely one of the principles that he had, but like lead with love, basically. I lent into it more because I was like, it is true, it is authentic. It's actually a secret weapon that works really well. So why would I not lean into it? But the flip side, again, another lesson from Brett, and he taught me this early on, like Kelly+Partners deals are 51-49 in terms of how we structure our deals, and he could have easily made that 70-30 or 80-20 or whatever. And like when we spoke early on, he's like, why is it like this? Like, well, the goal should be make you as rich as possible and well off as possible and help you achieve your goals, because if you do that, I know that it's going to work in my favor over here. So structurally, on top of the the way we want to operate culturally, Matt, we also build a structure that allows that to happen, where we can genuinely put them in position to make them as well off as they could ever be through the way we operate, that it works for all of us financially as well. So there's no ulterior motive. It's just
No, you love them through not just saying that you love them. You actually show them through the efforts that you put in around how you coach them, how you spend time with them, but how much money you actually put it back into their bank, right?
Yeah. Well, and the truth is, for the partners that have come on board, they start to see that now. But a lot of them operate with faith that we're going to look after them financially at a point. It's not like they're getting, we're not paying excessive salaries for them to be there, but we are saying, hey, we've got a plan to get you to here, but it's just going to take some time. Like, it takes years, not seconds.
Of course.
And going from the Brett lesson that he told me, like, sit in this chair for 10 years. It takes us 10 years to build something, and let's build it together. Yeah. It takes a lot of trust and faith. The other part we have in there is where we got a guy named Zach Beer, who's our leadership coach for the team. Like, he works at North, he's a head coach at North Rugby. And he's been working with us for 3 or 4 years now, fortnightly catch-ups with all my leadership team. And what's that allowed is to have a different voice that's not just mine in the room, that has a similar message but completely different language, so much softer, so much less direct, same values and everything else. And it just means that we're making sure people are hearing the message
from different
the right
people,
way.
right?
Yeah.
They're sick of you standing up at the meeting. It's no different.
It doesn't
in my
work at a
conversation.
point. Yeah, it doesn't work at a point.
You can care. You can show that you care and actually care as much as you want.
Yep.
But people just like, I want to just hear something different.
Yeah.
And you need that different perspective as well, right?
100%. And then other things are like I fuck up all the time as well. So in terms of building trust and being able to keep that relationship, it's like I've got to always be willing to be like, hey, fuck that up. Yeah. Oh, I can see why you feel that way. Not the intention.
Yeah.
Let's fix this and make sure we take action and resolve the things. But it's if you rewind back to our convo about our relationships at home, what we're talking about here is the exact same. I treat these guys like my brothers, my sisters, my family, the exact same way I treat Jess. It's like have a real honest convo, set goals together, make sure we're communicating and we've got open convos. Again, another book, but 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. I don't know if you've read that, but
I've read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I made them all read that. This is how we're operating. Just like I give them the language. Like this is what when I say this is how it means. You know, make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah. And have a really good go at it, right? And encourage them to make mistakes.
100%.
People just fear that element of making a mistake that they can't do that. I'm like, if you're not making a mistake, you're not moving fast enough. And if you're not moving fast enough, that's a problem. So just go out there and stuff some things up. What I say to them is that a mistake once is fine. You're going to keep making the mistake. That becomes an issue.
Just make different mistakes.
It's right.
Make as many different mistakes as you want. Just don't make the same mistake. And then the output of all that, like the amount of people that will tell me, again, business owner land, I just can't find good people. I can't find good people. Like that is true, and it is really hard to find good people. But I've got an office full of I'm still looking for more, but an office full of amazing just people that you know, when we're not doing it anymore, thank God, because we've got some of the business operations under control. But for the last 2 Decembers, the team were working till 2, 3, 4 in the morning for 4 to 6 weeks like straight. Just because we had budgets and deadlines that we were behind on. It wasn't me sitting there. I'm sitting there going, let's go home. They're like, no, we're fucking doing this. So that internal drive builds from the team. And I'm not saying that from that's what we want as a culture. It's the last thing I want. If anything, I'm trying to get them out of the office. But what I would always want is if I'm going to war, I want to have the guy next to me would be willing to go to war with me. We have like an in the trenches kind of saying together. And so it's that. Like I want to know that they're going to war, but I don't want them to have to ever go to war.
No, of course.
Never want to use it.
But again, they know that you would go to war for them.
100%.
And also, they want it, right? They're not staying there to 2 o'clock in the morning because they don't want it.
No, of course.
They do want it.
Of
they
course.
Want to say
but there's plenty of people in this generation now of workforce that they want it in words, but they won't represent that in actions.
No.
And I actually think that's more of a leadership issue than it is the person issue.
Absolutely,
I think we give a lot of people bad raps, but I think there's more bad leaders than there are bad team members.
The leader says, "Oh, you should do it this way," and then they don't do it that way.
They fuck off.
So that's the first problem
100%.
that you face. And the leader says, "Oh, let's do it this way," and if they don't get there, they make an excuse for not getting there. And so just saying, "Guys, it's all good. We tried to get there. We didn't get there. It's actually fine. It's all good. We had a crack at it. Didn't happen. Just try again next year."
Move on.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
So I think having the people in the business that are there, and what I find in my team is that the support that they give me, Josh wants to achieve this scary, audacious goal. Like we're probably never going to make it because my goals are just way out there. But they're like, let's just give it a go.
But it's true. But every fucking great audacious goal started with someone that put something unrealistic in the world.
Completely.
So you never know. But I think they used a reference for Steve Jobs about it. Can't remember, but it was like this distortion field or something, an ulterior reality that he lived in that put these amazing things in the world. And maybe for all we know, only 10% of them actually ended up in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're pretty big 10%.
Well, the problem was I listened to the Elon Musk podcast. It was this guy that summarized his book, and he sort of spoke about Elon being like hardcore and just not expecting anything but the best. And I brought that back to the team, and they were more scared than what they were the day before. Like, I better tone that down a little bit. I'm already a little bit hardcore.
I think it's hard to manage those two things, but there's also we're speaking about that internally at the moment about some of the job ads we're about to put up, where it's like, let's actually talk to the kind of person we want a bit more directly. And if you want someone hardcore, I actually think if you put the ad up there and said, I'm looking for the most hardcore real estate people in the world,
good point.
They might show up.
That's right.
But then culturally, you might get something very different to what you have today. So you might not want that person, but they exist. and it's just finding them.
It's about instilling that hardcore into them first. I don't think I want people that are hardcore to come here because again, it disrupts culture. And that's just not what we're like.
Same.
We're super humble, really good people, but have very good audacious goals. And some people need a little bit more encouragement than others, but that's okay. You sit down with them and you have that conversation. But a lot of them do have some audacious goals, but it's been a gradual incline to get to that. It's not just coming in saying, I'm going to do all these great things, saying, okay, well, I was down here before, like I want to slowly work my way up.
Focus on progress, not...
Correct.
I say that to my kids. Like, you say, practice makes perfect. Just practice makes progress. Practice makes
progress. That's right.
But yeah, to what you're saying there, bro. Like, I've watched you from the sidelines. Obviously, I remember when you were having kids. Like, I know how hard you work because I watch it, and it reminds me of how hard I've had to work. And I remember when you're having kids, and I was like, yeah, bro, wait till you have kids and you try and juggle all this. But you've done it really well. Like, your ability to still keep, I don't know the details of your days and how they've changed, but your ability to still keep your work schedule, your gym schedule, your family stuff all prioritized has been awesome to watch.
It's just been, I appreciate it. This is non-negotiable, man. Like, it's just, and my problem is if I write something down, I say I'm going to do it, I have to do it. I just can't not do it. I can't have something in my calendar and I don't do it consistently. I actually remove it from my calendar, or I just have to do it. But there's one thing that rang true, and I was talking to the boys about this before. Like, when we first started the business in 2020, like Mason was like 3 months, 3 months old, and then sort of COVID hit in April. So we started the business, COVID hit. Sarah was then pregnant with Jordan, our second son. We had quite a significant court case that was coming after us. And then, we lost my grandfather at that time as well, right? And so the world was crumbling around us. There was like absolute shit. The world was crumbling, and then our world was crumbling off the back of everything that happened. And I remember very well, I sort of sat down with Sarah and I said, look, I can't be around as much from a fatherhood perspective. I said, I'll be here when I can be here. But I said, you're not working. I said, I'm going to go health first on this. And I still remember, even through COVID, I woke up even earlier because I had to go to a home gym somewhere else. And
it's an underground gym.
Absolutely, I had to drive this, inconspicuous at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I kept that routine and I just simply went to work. I turned off the news. And I think if there's one thing that you need to do really well is be able to stick to the plan.
Well, you communicated as well, which we spoke about at the start, but it's like, I stick to my plan and I spoke about it and I put it out in the world and I fucking went.
We just had to do it. And you just closed your eyes and ran at like 100 miles an hour.
I will say, like, and maybe you're here or maybe you're just away from, because I know I'm a couple of years in front always, just from time, age. Like, my life in the last 2 years has exponentially gotten better because of that effort for that 10 years beforehand. Absolutely. And like, you can, and it wasn't a gradual get better. It was like, there was overnight. A moment in time where it was like, overnight. Oh fuck, this is all work now. And even with all the audacious goals and everything you're doing around discipline, there's still an element of blind faith that you have that it's all going to work out. And you've told your team, you've told your wife, you've told your family, like,
they're all doing this. Mate, they're all looking at you like, this guy's got a plan. And I'm like, I've got a plan. I actually don't know if it's going to work.
I still need to, well, you can't, you're never going to know, because you always worry. I think it's part of the business. You always worry about the downside risk that it could all break. And like, everyone's responsibility is on you. But the feeling of getting to that point where it's like, oh fuck, everything that we worked for is now, we're still not there, but you can definitely see it's done.
Mate, this is the first year I've taken 2 holidays in the year.
Yeah, amazing.
I've never ever done that.
Amazing.
Ever. There was times where I went like 3-4 years with no holidays whatsoever. And so you're right, you get to this point, and I had that, now you were just saying that, I'm like, I'm here now. And like, did I plan it? Well, we've always had intentions every year to go away and spend more time with the kids and spend more time with each other. But the business got in front of us, it got ahead of us, and we were like, well, we could go on a holiday and spend 10 or 15 grand, or we go and put this back into the business and keep growing it to where it is. And then you eventually get it to a point where you have some great people around you, you have these, this driven, this goal, and you have the support. And so when you go on holidays, it's so much more sweeter. It's like the phone's on divert.
Not ringing.
No.
And you said this about Nat before, like, that comment about Nat you're not the first person to say it, but like, I go away now knowing that between Nat, Bianca, Peter, Ben, Ray, like the guys in the office, they actually always comment back that it's so much better when you're not here. Which is,
go away more often.
Yeah, literally, which is like, as you're saying, the most amazing feeling, because you can actually spend that time with your family, and you know that when you're back, like, Jess is happier, Sarah's happier, the kids are happier, you can just go to work and focus and redirect. Brett's extremely smart, so I actually tell you, we should try and get him to come have a chat with you. But the first thing he does every January is book out his holidays for the year, make sure everyone in the family knows where he's going away, and like that's priority number one before everything.
Yep.
And I think he was doing that before he was financially able to as well. Like the quality of holiday has obviously changed, but the time that he spent, he goes, "No, I'll do this because I know that when I am working, you're not going to be able to get me. So I'll give you the time in between."
It's good. Yeah.
But yeah, so mate, agree. We're getting there.
Yeah, increasing that lifestyle. And so, talk to us about future of business. What does that look like for you? Because you're talking about planning and stuff.
Yeah.
What's next for KP?
So Kelly+Partners Northern Beaches. Like largely the foundation's built and the team's built. All the effort that we've put in now has built the foundation that we can exponentially grow now with our leadership team now being able to step up into partnership roles. So as I was kind of saying before, like we've got great infrastructure, a great model that allows them to be part of the ownership as we grow. So for Northern Beaches, it's now no more duck underwater kind of operating. It's like level up now the people that have done the hard yards to get us here, make sure they've got equity into the business, and just, in our head, it's just grow at 12.5%. We don't need to do anything to knock the lights out. We just let compound interest do its thing, and that will look after a lot of people financially as long as we do it for the next 20 years. Which isn't, in my head, it's not a big audacious goal. It's just like
but you're not about that. Like, so you have audacious goals, of course. Correct, you do, but you're more about consistency. Safety, and you know what is going to work.
And my goal around that is, if I broke it down and I make up a number, just so I'm not talking real numbers, it's like get everyone to earn 500 grand, get as many people to earn 500 grand a year as possible, which is an amount of money that most people would never earn. And so if we can build a model that creates something like that, then like what else could I ask for in life? It's actually amazing, and provides a bit of freedom for a lot of people that otherwise. So that's kind of like, as you said before, I love these people. If I can create something that gives them a life they would otherwise never, or would be very difficult for them to otherwise have.
Brett gave that back to you.
Brett gave it to me, 100%.
And so it's your responsibility, and it's part of your legacy
100%. Now to pass that down.
And then
100%.
you'd expect the people in your team to then pass it down. And that's the same with us. When our agents and our building teams, or we've got our managers that are managing other people, it is my responsibility to make sure the managers are taught the right things so they can then pass that down. And it's just a multiplier. Like if you just do it with one, and if you teach 3 people on it, then it goes out to the 3 below, and it's 3, and it just sort of...
And Brett's got that amazing legacy now, because there's 120 of me across the group. So so that multiplier is just flowing through, which... we're repeating our own version of that. You're doing it under your own brand, which is unbelievable. I couldn't imagine, like, I've got Brett there to bounce off. To have to do it all yourself is actually fucking another version again. I know you've got other people to bounce off, but it's different. They're not fully invested.
But the thing is, they might not be invested, man, but I've got great people. I've got yourself. I pick up the phone and I can call you. But if I'm not calling you, I'll call Nat, I'll call Rachel from the team. Do you know what I mean? And they even, being passed down, and it was fine, right? You passed me to Nat, and Nat's passed me to Rachel. And when I say passed, they're probably better at what they do 100%. Than you, because you're 100%. Focusing on other things now.
Even when I was in those roles, it's a great, I think, leadership quality. It's so hard to accept that you're not the best at everything when you're young and immature.
That's right.
And then as you get older, you're like, you're actually so much better at this than me. Why am I even doing this?
That's right. Please take over.
Please take over.
That's fine.
And the hardest thing is, you're smart enough to recognize that. A lot of clients aren't, and so it's hard to actually get the clients on the other side to understand that.
No.
Just because I'm a Lebanese male doesn't mean I'm the smartest person in the world.
You can't
There's this whole section of the world in Lebanon that thinks that Lebanese men are the smartest.
Because it was told from our parents and our grandparents. But I think people's businesses grow to that level of where their head's at on that, right? If they're like, I am the best, and that's okay. If you want to be a 1 to 3, 4-man business, then that's no problem. It's all revolved around you. Your holidays aren't sweet, and you can still, you probably make more money doing that. And I've always said this to the team. I said, if this was about me just making money, I would make it all about me. I'd be on all the listings. I want everyone to call me. I want to do all the buy work, and I want all the accolades. But I'm like, of course money is great, but you get to a point now where it's like,
it doesn't exponentially change anything.
No. Quality of life is more important, man.
Correct. I'm not downplaying how important it is, but there's a point where you maybe you can book a first class flight instead of economy. But other than that, we have the same dinner.
That's right.
Doesn't change huge amounts.
That's right.
So there's that part with Kelly+Partners Northern Beaches. we just, as part of Kelly+Partners, acquired a business called WorkPod in the Philippines, which is like it's a BPO in the Philippines, but done a little bit different, a lot more culture focused, and building an office of
caring about the people there.
Correct.
I mean, a lot of VAs, and even when we first got into it, like they would treat them like shit or anything, but they just would treat them as someone that is not an employee,
not part of the team.
No. That's right. And I think that's one thing that we've done, where we celebrate birthdays for them. We do welcome on board parties, all that sort of stuff virtually. Obviously, we send them birthday cakes on their birthdays. You know, we'll send them away for their annual retreats where we'll pay for something over there, and they all come together from different parts of the country. So I think that becomes really important. So even it's
1,500 people over there.
Nice.
That's not for Kelly+Partners. It's, you know, all their own clients. But we'll start to build out I've got a lot of energy going into what that looks like, and then just largely working with Brett at a group level around just different initiatives across the group, which I'm really enjoying. Like I'm doing a whole bunch of more mergers and acquisitions and things like that on a
it's good conversation,
mate. It's just leveling up my conversations, and absolutely loving it. I think if you go, what's the next 10-year goal for me, it's like largely not getting complacent, and making sure I've got another level to go to that lets me grow again. Because
of course,
I'd kill myself if I had to stop thinking or doing or learning. I love what I do, and the idea that I can go another level excites me a lot.
And playing to your strengths, man, and that's your strength, right? Connecting with people, getting in front of people, and relationships. And it's been phenomenal to really see the growth. Like I said, from a cultural perspective, I'm not in your business. I just deal with, really Rachel and Nat, really the two main ones that I deal with. But I see a little bit on socials, but that's not where I get the culture feeling from. I get it from Rachel. I get it from Nat in those conversations, right? And to have one or two people fuel the culture into the real world for 50 to 70 other people is like, really exciting for you. So you've got to be super happy.
I'm so happy. I'm so proud of that. It makes me happy, man.
Oh, mate.
Because I know you know this from your business, the amount of energy and effort and thought that goes into that. I will say, again, in terms of being a couple of years ahead of your journey, just because of time, it's definitely gotten harder today versus even just 2 or 3 years ago, just with the volume of people.
Yeah, it's trying to connect with everyone and be in touch.
Because it's no longer, it's what you kind of said before, that pass down effect. With a lot of the team, it was directly my energy going into their development, and now to do that across 70 is impossible. So you got to try and you're pulling out other tools and tactics to be able to, and it just dilutes a tiny bit. So we've actually reset recently to re-engage all our events and all the things we're doing to just like double back down on getting in front of the room with everyone and pull it all back together. Not because it's bad, just because it's like, oh, hang on, it's not the same. You can't do it the same way that we did it before. We've got to level up that.
What got us to here is not going to get us to there, right? So some of the systems and processes and the way we connect with our people
has to grow up as well.
Is it more people or is it more systems? You just work out which one it is. And if we need to get everyone together more often because, we can't do that individually, there's nothing wrong with that. Just work out a way to do that.
And then like one of the ways we're going to do that hopefully is take, like with the Philippine team, is take the whole team over the Philippines, like our team here over there. So
that's cool.
Like everyone can be together in that kind of environment. And give me 3 days with everyone on an island with alcohol, I'll build a culture.
I love that it's built around just some good drinks. And I really respect that.
Most things are. And not to have we spoke about Wolf of Wall Street at the start, we don't have a full drinking, like people always make that comparison to us actually. They'll be like, oh, you're office like Wolf of Wall Street, because they see some of the fun we have. And when you've got a group of people that genuinely love each other, drinking and laughing together, it does look fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they see that and I'm like, if you knew how hard these guys work in between the drinks, you would not think this is Wall Street.
The time they're drinking and working. I've had calls from Rachel when she's somewhere overseas drinking. Just drink. Like, just stop. It's all good. My accounting problem is not that urgent.
It's not that big, So you see the care and everything that goes in. But I do genuinely believe that, alcohol does lead into a little bit of like gets them to relax and open up, and maybe that's Australian culture a little bit, like having a bit of a play there, but it works in NRL teams and it seems to work in most businesses.
Yeah, but your ability to control that is something that you got to take credit for as well, right? Because that even can also get out of hand a lot. And
it has at times, and we've had to have some hard convos around it where we're you're making jokes, but someone goes a bit too far on something. And I think the important part is accepting that things you can't control everything.
These things will happen.
They will happen. Yeah. And as a leader, it's your job to be like, no, that's not okay. Like either you don't necessarily need to fire them and kick people out, and sometimes you do, but just being able to have the convo with the team and go, we're not doing that. That's not an okay thing.
Yeah. Drink, have some fun, but just don't do
there's lines.
Stupid.
There's lines you can't cross.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
It's always fun.
No, look, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to see the journey and to see what you've built, and not just a great business, but you've got the family behind it as well, and built a new house and all that sort of stuff, right? So you're really starting to tick off those boxes that a lot of people may put first, but that's where the sacrifice has come in. So congratulations on all the growth, congratulations on all the success and what you've done, and looking forward to seeing the next chapter.
Appreciate you, mate. Pumped to keep doing it together.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.